We will also be on site when they do jack the bridge to make sure that when they jack the bridge, that it contains sanitary sewer. We may have to release some of the hangers so they can raise the bridge. When they place it back down, they'll replace the hangers. Westview's in a similar situation.
They're going to replace all the hangers, or just one?
They'll replace the hangers they remove. If we see that the hangers we have are deficient, we'll work a price with them to have them replace the hangers while they're doing the work. It'll be the most cost-effective way to do that. Frankly, depending on the condition, I'll advise the board, it might be prudent just to do the work while they're there,
Right.
and then you won't have to worry about it ever again. Because right now is the time to do it. If not, you'd be doing it from a barge, like a JLG lift or something like that. So, item number 12, no change. Item number 13, as far as the water system reporting, with the permit renewal, there are some items that need to be done as far as O&M manuals and things of that nature. That work is in progress. We did have a meeting with the manager and staff on the 12th and identified the timelines for each and when they needed to be completed. Most of these are due in 2019, and some of you have drafted in some shape or form, so we'll work with Mark and Jim to complete those. We did attend a meeting with Manager Crease, and it's my understanding that you are already given the go-ahead from the quotes we solicited for the sampling. We had a follow-up meeting with them to provide a proposal to the township for a backup sampler in case Mark is ill or met a busy filing or something of that nature. In addition, if Mark were to become ill, CWM also has licensed operators, water and wastewater, within their organization. And they provide these services to other communities. So the plan is, officially December 4th, they will take over the sampling and take them to their lab. They will also upload everything to DEP's website, and the township will get a copy of it. So on the 20th, they're going to send someone out to shadow Mark and see how he does the sampling so they can have someone come in. Again, if you were busy, if Mark was ill, if two men were ill, you wouldn't get a violation on your water system report. In kind, if, again, you have one certified operator at this point until someone else were to get certified that you can do so, Mark is your only certified wastewater and water system operator. If you were to go out on leave or if you were to get injured, you have no one to run your facilities. They can't make changes to operations, they can't adjust the pumps, they can't do anything without his supervision. The men know how to do it, they just can't do it without his permission. So we will meet with CWM and Mark and Gene, take them to the stations, explain everything to them, show them what we have, and they're going to provide, I don't know if they, I don't think they provided it, they're going to provide a quote to the township. Again, it's not a commitment to use them, it's just a resource that's available to you if you get in a pinch.
And they'll come present to the board.
And they will come present to the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that module, back when I just brought up, is there anybody out there that if something happens like this, you're going to back up?
Yeah, you have them where they can come out a couple of days a week and they can cover, or if men are busy, and you have to schedule some of the stuff. But they can't come out on an emergency as well. So it does provide you a lot of flexibility, and it does release some of the burden from Mark. Mark can't even take off at this point, because he needs to be here to take care of these things. So with them coming in, he'll get some relief. As far as the sampling, once per month, right now we do twice per month, April 29th. With the new regulations, you have to sample once per month. So every week you'll be doing sampling of the water system. And with all the problems we have with Westview, since they got rid of their full-time lab, this lab will contract directly with the township. So we won't get the strong arm on trying to get our results or trying to get mischaracterized samples corrected. This is important because I've seen a lot of fines being levied for failure to sample. Disinfection rule requirement, again, this goes with the sampling. I met with the township on October 12th. We worked through the sampling site plan and the tables that go along with it to set that up. That was submitted to DEP. And subsequently, we got a response via email that they've approved the submission. So your DRR is approved by the department and it can be implemented in April. So you're 6 months ahead of schedule. But it was due on October 29th because they wanted 6 months to review it. So yours must have been just really good with that. Safeguard holding, commercial holdings. We talked about this, no change. Once the rules and regs are wrapped up, we have a firm position on the shutoffs. We can shut them off, make them separate their service. Highland Sports Center automatic flushing station. This came up during our meeting. Right now, when we go to take samples there, if that facility is not being used a lot, and the service line that feeds that facility is, I believe, is 6 or 8 inch for fire protection and for the high usage if they're making ice. Oftentimes, they're not using a lot of water, so that water stays in those lines for several days. It stays in the lines for, the DEP regulations require that your sample should be representative of what's in the system, not in those lines. But once you deliver it to those lines, your obligation is complete. Whether they oversize them or undersize them, that's their responsibility. So what we're looking at is an automatic sampling station. So Mark or whomever does the sampling can go out to that sampling station and take a sample directly from the main. Now, it does not require a permit. We just have to verify that we're going to need a discharge permit. And what these facilities have, these devices, they run on 9-volt batteries. You can preset the time, it'll flush the system, do the water age if we find that's necessary. They have dechlorination tablets in them, so you won't be discharging chlorinated water to the streets. And you will be able to procure a sample that's representative of what is in the street. Not what's in that building, because in order to get the water to turn over through that line, you take a sample in the building, you have to turn all the faucets on. And with the water conservation fixtures, it can take up to an hour to turn that water over, based upon temperature. So we are looking into that. And if we don't need a permit, I think it's something the men can install, and we just have to purchase them. And if we have other dead end areas that are problematic, we can have that taken care of. Elkasand Grove 4, if you remember, a couple of years ago, we did a demonstration project. They requested us to do it. We did not get enough funding at that time. With the Grove 4 program, we're going to discuss it in the next Elkasand meeting, which is the 15th. They may go back and say, if you did a prior project and it was successful, we'll reimburse you for the work that you did. Remember, originally we were hoping to get the reimbursement. We didn't. But they're going to open the program up again. So if they open the program up again, I'd like authorization to submit the application for you if they give us a short timeline. If it lapses to the next meeting, we're okay. But if not, I'd like to get that in and get us first on the list to get a reimbursement. There was a leak on Grand Avenue near Silver Fox. The men repaired it. The hole right now is about 14 by 5. They have it temporarily stabilized. We will submit for an HOP from the county highway occupancy permit once the work's completed. Mark is waiting for the leak protection company to come out and verify that there's no more leak there. Because they were chasing it for a while, they believe they captured it. Once they do that, we'll speak with the county on whether or not we have it taken this year. That's all I have.
Questions for Ned? Anybody? Thank you, Ned. Solicitor's report.
We submitted a written report dated October 31st. If anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Questions, anybody? Commissioner reports. Commissioner Brown, Public Works, Water and Sewer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They read the meters and finished their readings. And responsibility for signs and responsibility to sign when in detail. They set up signs for water break notivity, police cloud and customers. Notify county of water break, work on work break, and we just discussed that somewhat. Mr. Kerr. And they did Okay, the 805 ordinance for emergency. The water systems activity, they did their regular collections, calibrated a new colorimeter. They flushed the hydrants. And they met to get some of the samples in. And that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Commissioner Mundell, Public Works, Streets and Highways.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Patch potholes in Water Alley, patch potholes in Alley C, repaired the hole created on Grand Avenue, which we spoke about. We call for repair of Bonstein Street Light, and just a reminder, the street sweeper will conclude at the end of the month. I know we had some problems this year with getting them out there, but he had other things, other activities that took more precedent than street sweeping, so hopefully we'll get that corrected next year, hiring a person or two. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mundell. Mr. Whitaker, Public Safety, Police, Fire, EMA.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Notes of interest on the report are, there was 13 business alarms, 11 medical emergencies, then 123-foot patrol, and they gave out 52 traffic citations for a total of 280. That's my report.
Any questions for Chief Haney while he's here? He has another obligation, anything for him?
Great job, Chief. Tell the fellows and ladies that.
Halloween great.
Great job.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
It was good to be out. A lot of kids, a lot of people, a lot of candy. And uneventful night.
Did you stay upright on the second?
It's the whole time. The whole time.
Good job, Chief. Thank you.
Chief,
Yes.
I think this is county jurisdiction, Grand Avenue, but westbound. We used to have a no left turn sign to enter 79. They're doing it continuously. I know sometimes you park a patrol car there, but they bypass the light at the car dealer and go up and then make that illegal left to get on 79
So
southbound.
that is the county, and we need to reach out to them for several signs, but that there's a no U-turn sign should be there.
Well, I guess that was-
You know that turn sign,
Yeah.
yeah.
No
Should
U-turn,
technically-
no left
so-
turn, same difference.
So there is I will follow back up with them. They reached out to one. I'll follow back up with them because there's a couple other signs that I want to make sure that are posted correctly. But I will reach out back to them on that.
I know there's been a couple of hairy calls, a couple of residents have posted.
It is Allegheny County. Every sign was, I don't know how long ago that was taken down there, but somebody ran it over sometime.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Commissioner Rudder, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Parks report is relatively brief. All parks have been shut down. They're still available for walking and recreation. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance Administration of Buildings, daily bank deposits, violating payrolls, preparations of bills payable, October's Treasury Report, required reporting for 2000 audits, completed 3-year agreement, 2019 budget advertisement, and there are several other day-to-day items that are in your binder. Also, she did place advertisement for the 2nd of November.
James, you're getting any feedback on that?
Not nearly the
nobody
number.
qualified.
No one with CDLs or operators. Not nearly the number that we had the first time around.
Thank you.
Bills, motion number 1, call for motion to accept the bills due and payable November 8th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Mundell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rudder?
Yes.
Mr. Leon?
Yes. Treasurer's report, motion number 2, call for motion to table the treasurer's report for the month of October 2018 as October bank statements have not been received.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Mundell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rudder?
Yes.
Mr. Leon?
Yes. Meeting minutes, motion number 3, call for motion to approve the minutes from the October 4th, 2018 caucus meeting and October 11th, 2018 regular meeting.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Ordinances, motion 4, ordinance 850, stormwater. Call for motion to approve ordinance 850, an ordinance of the Township of Neville establishing rules and regulations for stormwater management and imposing penalties for violation.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Nothing on the resolutions. Action items, motion 5, Cogwan Carbon Building Permit Extension. Call for motion to approve the request of Cogwan Carbon, Neville North, for a 6-month extension to their commercial building permit expiring October 27, 2018, as reviewed and recommended by the Township Engineer and Zoning Officer.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Motion 7, Colby Realty Developers Agreement. Call for motion to approve the developers agreement and stormwater operations and maintenance agreement between Neville Township and Colby Realty LC for the Gauntlet project at 5603 Grand Avenue, subject to bond revisions by the township solicitor and engineer.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Motion 6, CD 43.7.2, partial and final payment. Call for motion to authorize the Shore West COG to issue partial payment number 2 and final to T.A. Robinson Asphalt Paving Incorporated in the amount of $10,217.86 for the CD 43.7.2 Cottage Park Tennis Court paving project.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Motion 9, zoning ordinance revisions. Call for motion to authorize the township solicitor to advertise for adoption revisions to the zoning ordinance as prepared by EPD as part of the multi-municipal zoning grant project.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Motion number 10, 2019 preliminary budget. Call for motion to approve and adopt the 2019 preliminary budgets for the general, water, and sewer funds.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Liddell?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Rutter?
Yes.
Mr. Leo?
Yes. Announcements. Announcement number 1, the Neville Township 2019 preliminary budget for the general, water, and sewer funds will be on display and available to the public beginning November 9th, 2018, and through the adoption of the final budget to be considered on Thursday, December 13th, 2018. Announcement number 2, Neville Green, the Neville Fire Department, and Neville Township will host the annual holiday event on Saturday, December 8th, 2018, from 6 to 8 p.m. How are the forms going? Pretty good turnout?
Yeah, the deadline was last Friday. We took a few late this week until we started to place the order. So we're close to the cutoff date.
Okay. Gentlemen, any other business you will discuss?
Bill, I just have one thing I want to bring up. I know we spoke about this, and I believe that we sent notices to property owners. We talked about this before. In the Match, we're still having that problem with those rats.
We had probably about 2 or 3 calls in the last week. The building inspector went down on 2 different occasions and witnessed the rats. We notified 6 different building owners. 5 of them we sent notice of violation to. The 6th one, we contacted them prior to sending the notice to try to get immediate action. One of them immediately complied with getting an exterminator there. So they're receiving notices for the rats. They're also receiving notices about conditions that might be causing the rats. So any grass or high weeds, they witnessed some garbage cans without lids. There was also some items that weren't a violation that they contribute to rats, things like people leaving foil on grills. So they talked to all the building owners. So the building owners will need to take action with their tenants and get exterminators.
And one other thing, Gene, I don't know if this is a problem or not, but if we have to speak to them, Waste Management, I don't know if they're leaving rubbish outside. Some of those are fenced in and they have those the containers inside. I don't know, I haven't walked back there, but if they are leaving stuff in the cans, maybe we can make a mention to them to make sure that, you know, the area is clean.
Are you saying Waste Management maybe not emptying completely?
Correct.
Is that what you're-
Yeah, all they do is grab the bag, and my trash, if they see you got a bag and a bag underneath, they'll grab, instead of grabbing the can and dumping it, they just grab what's inside of it and go to the next one.
And there's some debris left
Yeah,
out
whatever's
there.
left
I just
over.
wonder if maybe we can mention that to them, you know, because we're definitely having a problem
I'll
down.
let them know. Typically, Waste Management will send me photos if they have a location where they can't access. Because of the parking is so tight to the garbage cans, if someone's parked immediately adjacent to where that dump or where the area is, they can't get the can out of there to dump it into the truck because they're afraid to hit the vehicle. So at that point, they will hand empty that. I'll let them know that, but that's a combination there of the building owners working with their
Correct.
tenants, the tenants handling the garbage correctly and working with Waste Management. But I'll let
And
Waste
I know we
Management
sent the
know.
owners notification, so I appreciate that, thank you, but we have to get that rectified as soon as possible.
They hand empty all of them. I know, every week I got trash left from bottom line, I know that for a fact. They're not dumping the cans, just whatever they grab.
I don't know if this is your area of expertise or not, but we've tried for years to do some kind of containment that you can use there. Do you even recommend anybody that might be their specialty?
It's hard because Jeannie said that parking is so limited down there and.
They've got 4
I
cars
don't know
out
where,
there.
yeah, I don't know where we could put a dumpster or anything like that, you
I
know?
mean, the central location is
Yeah.
not working, no one's taking care
No,
of it.
they're not.
Not wall, but we put wall up to the regular can as the guy gets back.
Right.
You can't do that because of cars, you know. And parking is so tight, you can't like put yellows, you know, no parking up there.
This is the first time I remember like a rat problem this.
It's been so bad. It was true, so.
It probably chased them up from the river too.
I
They
caught
probably-
nice miles last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll get all my, I thought.
I've heard about it from
Yeah.
other communities. It seems adjacent to the river or
Right.
being subject to this, more than likely it's just due to, because we've had a high, or a long period of high water levels in the river, so we just driving
Come up through
them
the
out,
sewers.
driving them out. Through the sewers or on the rocks or wherever they need to be.
Mice to people,
So they're
rats,
being,
mice,
they're being moved out, and as they move out, they're finding other
relocate.
sources of
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
So normally, the only cause of action is to eliminate the rats. Because they're pretty,
Aggressive.
we're destructive.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were
absent,
scared of them.
They did change the wires, the car, everything.
well, I mean, absent building a box out of steel and not a thin bit of steel. They'll get through it, and you'll be surprised if it's a small opening, you know, a mouse can get through at the racer size opening. I don't know what a rat can get through, but I suspect it's not.
Oh, they'll get through some stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
They get through a caulking and you put a crack over.
I have typically just seen that they have a professional come in and
Exterminate, what do we got?
That's all I have.
apply the product.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ned. Anybody else, any more old business? Is there a sign sheet for comments? Audience comments, I'll go in order of the sign sheet. Sandy DeWitt, please come up. I'll remind you to give your name, everything, so we have it on the tape.
Sandra DeWitt, Second Street. I just have a quick question. On the street, the rumor has it that Ray's house is going to be going up for sheriff's sale, and I don't understand how that process works. Whoever buys it, do they pay back taxes, liens, or whatever? And how do you advertise
Yeah,
for it?
that'd be a good one for you to explain.
Not necessarily.
If it's going up for sale for back taxes, what typically happens is, every taxing, like the school district, county, and township has to submit a claim to the sheriff's office of what's owed to them, and then that's used to determine the opening bid amount. So the goal is to collect everything, and even if there were water liens or sewage liens, those typically could be collected through the sheriff's sale process. Now, if it's a free and clear sale, it depends. But if it's a free and clear sale, then it could be exposed for an amount that's lower than what all the taxes are due. So the idea is to be able to collect everything that's owed, and then if there's competitive bidding, it could, be bid up higher than that, but if it's a free and clear sale, it could be lower.
How do the school board and everyone else know? Do you notify them that it's going on for sale?
It depends. Do you know who's listing it? Is the township that's?
No, that would be the
No.
sheriff's office.
Okay, yeah, it depends. What happens is, all the taxing bodies will get notified. Whatever taxing body is actually exposing the property for sheriff's sale, if it's a county sale, school sale, township sale, they will notice all lien holders. So, they will get notice in the mail. Typically, the tax collectors get notice as well. The sheriff's sale is advertised, and like I said, when they get notice, the taxing bodies, they can submit a claim to the sheriff's office, so that the amount that's owed to them can be included in the opening bid amount.
Okay, I was just curious. I never encountered it, and I didn't know what the procedure.
And you're referring about Ray Lawrence house,
Yeah.
you said Red, just want to make sure.
It's in the Post Gazette on the first and second Monday of the month, right?
The advertisements, I'm not sure when they run it. The sheriff's sale is always the first Monday of the month, but they definitely do run an advertisement before.
And how long does that process take?
Which process?
From making the determination of it's going up for sheriff's sale until people feel.
It really all depends, because there are things that can happen in between that might delay the sheriff's sale. If there was a payment plan offered for the sale, that can delay it. It can be scheduled, but then get postponed. If there's bankruptcy filed, that can get postponed. If there was someone who came to contest the sheriff's sale, it can cause delay. It really is just, it depends on a lot of factors.
Okay, I was just curious. Sure. And I have another question. What's the status of the Plymouth Street Bridge? Is it on schedule? Or are we gonna be seeing this road detour for another 2 years?
They haven't,
They haven't started yet?
excuse me, no, they haven't opened the midpoint, so go beyond. Initially it was, must have been throughout the winter, which that's what they got. So, I don't want to speculate when they're going to finish. They're making progress, but as far as updates as to how long it will occur, they're really not providing that information.
That bad, huh?
I don't want to say it's that bad. It's construction on that scale, and it's weather dependent.
It's pretty early into the,
It's
it's
pretty
7 months left.
Yeah, it's already into the project, but, weather plays a part in painting, humidity plays a part in painting as far as preparation of the surface and then application of the coating system. So depending on the weather, it could take a while if it doesn't cooperate. If the weather's nice like it was today, they can really make some noise.
So they're coming soon.
Well, they'll also slow things down as well. They can do the deck work too. So it depends on the creativity of the management team in some parts.
Okay.
But I think they know it's in the best interest because it's costly to them to maintain the detour.
And it's sort of a nuisance for
To everyone, including the county, because they're getting on the cost.
Okay, I have another question.
Thanks. Actually, we're out of time here, I gotta move on, but we need to move on to the next person.
Okay.
Jill?
Jill Ammon, Grand Avenue. So last month we were here at the meeting, Chairman Leon publicly accused me of filming the ladies in the front office. Myself and another one of the residents came down to the front office and spoke with one of the ladies here who confirmed that I never actually filmed anyone in the office or anyone inside the building of staff members. And Chief Haney left, but I wanted to thank the police department and the fire department for the trick or treat. One thing that I would ask the board's consideration for next year, we closed that westbound lane, the inside lane closest to Mr. Rudder's house for the Heights 57 race. There's a sidewalk from Arizona all the way down to 7-Eleven, and it was a little dangerous in some parts, especially near the mansionettes, because all the cars park on the berm because there's a lack of parking. So I'd ask the board's consideration to think about that next year, maybe thinking about closing that lane off. It'll probably help to slow people down too. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Suzanne McAllister.
Suzanne McAllister, I live at 352 Mead Drive, and I own property on Neville Island. Last meeting, taxes. Last meeting, one of you said that Moon Township's taxes or neighboring taxes were higher than Neville, but actually, it's the other way around.
No, what I said was Stowe Township is double ours and Coraopolis is almost triple ours.
Well,
Those are the two that I said.
I'm sorry. Moon's is .274 and Neville's is .495.
Right.
I just would think that the industry on the line, they would be less here.
I would think the assessment in Moon Township would be in the gazillions of dollars compared to what ours is, so.
I mean,
that's
dollar
probably
for
why
dollar
it breaks that up.
on the home here or at Moon.
Pardon me?
Dollar for dollar, a home at Moon would be, pay less taxes than Neville.
Yeah, but you're also talking, the average median price of a house would be probably 4 times that. So,
And I just
I
wanted to
think you'll
say,
find Swiftly has lower taxes because of that reason, the Fox Shop will have lower taxes, so it's all kind of, it kind of
it
works
just
together.
seems like with all the industry Neville has, but, and another thing that bothered me last meeting was your words to Jill. It just disturbed me, the way you, voted for mayor at that meeting for her.
When I asked her if she ever did this for Neville Green or picked up
When
other
you
ones,
asked her,
when I
she
asked
picked up
those
trash,
questions.
or, it just
Yeah,
seemed like
I thought it was a
quite
very basic question.
unprofessional to me.
I thought it was a basic question, I've actually been complimented for asking the question, so I don't agree with you.
Right.
Jennifer Mahalo.
I was signed in because last meeting you took the
Oh, give your names.
Jennifer Mahali, 5201 Front River Road. I didn't really have anything to say, but last meeting the paper was taken up soon, so in case I did. But about the garbage, I had mentioned about the lids, if we could put that in. I thought it was part of the ordinance, and they said it was not. But I thought, Al, Gabe, I thought that your garbage had to be bagged when it's in the camp, and they do not dump it. So if you just throw cans, you're out the yard, throw your banana
No, if I
peels.
throw 2 bags in there, I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
'cause, but I know people that don't bag,
Yeah.
and they don't pick the cans up, so it would behoove everyone to bag all their garbage, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, you're right, they
Because
don't do
they
that.
don't pick my cans up, but they do reach in and take all the bags. But, like, if my kids have thrown something in there, that's, you know, they don't take care of that, and I don't expect them to. But I don't know if they're doing that in the mansionettes, so that's another thing to let people know, make sure
And I
it's
know I've also
bad.
noticed that the mansion too, when you come back to buy on Monday evening, you'll see rubbish all over the place down there, like Warren, putting it out in time for Monday.
Right, that's another thing that's really important to get it out for trash day.
Well, also, if you're saying if they don't get all of it out of your can, they don't treat your can like they're gold, they just toss them in your yard again, whatever it's gonna fall out, you know. They don't put it down nicely.
And, well, too, besides, you know, them maybe doing a little extra effort, I think all the residents really have to watch what they're doing. And talking about the high water, moving the rats up, like Susie lives on my block. I don't have rats. We don't see rats, at least in our block on Front River. But for the most part, we all have cans with lids and keep our property
You
clean.
do the right thing, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, someone else, anybody else want to come up?
can I come up? I didn't sign that.
That's what I'm asking for, yeah.
Sue Edders, 5101 Front River Road. First, I'm gonna thank you. Made that quick. There must be a Steeler game tonight. Everybody was quick, 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 quick.
actually a slow month.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
a
right.
good thing.
All right. Since we joked about that, now I forget what I came up with. Oh, I know. Okay. Speaking of trash cans and lids and all that, don't we have ordinances? Is anybody ever, like, fined for not following an ordinance or whatever?
For like cans or.
Yeah, I mean,
cans
yeah,
or-
like, okay, just with us talking about that, trash cans with lids
Yeah.
and the grass, I remember that, it couldn't be past a certain height and,
Snow
I mean,
removal too.
yeah, right, all
They
that
sit
kind of
on your
stuff.
site, and they get like 2 weeks to fix the problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, true. But, no, don't,
The
you
answer
better,
is yes, and it's still a complaint-based system, that you have to, it has to be a complaint and Ron has to go down and to start the process on that.
wait, sorry, say that again, what?
And we have a complaint-based system, so if somebody calls in a complaint or files a complaint, then Ron will go in and take a look when he's in on the island on Tuesdays, Thursdays.
So we still do have someone.
Yeah.
How often is he here?
His official hours, official dates are 2 days a week by township contract. But that,
Tuesdays and Thursdays, like, wasn't that what it was before or something?
but
But he could stop in.
typically we actually have 2 people that cover Neville. We have Rob Mulcahy, who does most of the building inspections, occupancy permits, and things that are more complicated. We also have a second gentleman who just does our property maintenance. His name is Mike. We typically have them almost 5 days a week, and sometimes we have more than one person covering us. So we have 2 people on multiple days a week. There are exceptions to that, though. If they have court and they're under subpoena and they have hearings, which may be ours, maybe someone else's, they may not be here that day. They may also have training because there's a huge amount of continuing education that goes on to be a code enforcement officer. So, excuse me, it's not a guarantee that someone's here every day. But typically, we have someone here every day. Sometimes we have 2 people. The good example we talked about earlier in the meeting was the complaints about the rats. When we got those complaints, they went down immediately. Both of them inspected on 2 subsequent days. They were able to see both the rats and the garbage, and they immediately sent out notices to those property owners for the rats, but also for the garbage that they saw. So that was enforced under their property maintenance code. When someone gets a notice, and we've done, I didn't count them, but I would say we've done over 100 this year at least for property maintenance violations. They get a period of about 20 days from the time they get the letter to respond to the township. They have 2 ways to respond. They can correct the problem, or they can respond and tell us they disagree with the problem. We'll then re-inspect. If the problem has not mitigated, typically they do a citation. Once you get a citation in the mail, you then enter the magistrate process. The township doesn't control that process. So our inspector waits until he gets a court date at the magistrate. He'll take the party to the magistrate. The magistrate may enforce it. Typically a magistrate that will give them another 30 days to correct. So it can be a lengthy period of time from the date you call to the date something gets corrected. But we do citations and notices all the time. Most people comply, but they don't necessarily comply immediately. So it's not, you know, within 10, 20 days. Sometimes it takes longer, but most people do comply.
Okay, yeah, that was like sort of my basic question though. So we still have all the ordinances that we've ever had because we pay for these ordinances. Every time an ordinance comes up, you have to pay for it. It seems like nothing's really being done though. I mean, I know I got something about my sidewalk and I just wonder, did anybody else ever have that?
Immediately, some people, like she said, do that, but you also, a lot of people know the system too, and once it's out of our hands, and once it's beyond that step, it gets to the magistrate over there. It's beyond
Sue,
our
yes.
control.
Huh?
Somebody else did, because we just sent about 3 notices to people who live on Bonstein, and they did correct that. One was
For a sidewalk.
Correct. One was from Columbia Gas, which Columbia Gas corrected that because they tore it up. But I think there was 2 other residents, right, Gene, that they repaired them
There was
themselves.
at least two on
Yeah,
that
I
list.
know there was, I think at least 3 we sent to, one was Columbia Gas.
And again, keep in mind, it's a complaint-based system here,
Mhm.
which most places are complaint-based systems, but the difference is there's no one who goes to patrol to find issues. So we rely on residents reporting the issue. So when someone reports it, then that triggers the zoning officer to go out and take a look at that. Now, that doesn't mean that when he's out, he doesn't see things.
Well, that's what I
because-
was gonna ask,
Yes.
because like, I would think we're paying him, you know, so doesn't he just take a little drive through the island, you know, up and down the streets
He sees
and,
things when he drives through and when he's
Yeah.
going to other locations.
right,
But he's not paid to be here so many hours a day where he's actually patrolling. When he's here, he's handling citations and he's.
that's what I was,
handling-
and when he's here, like,
He's handling.
whatever somebody maybe came up and complained about, then
He's handling
he's taking
inspections
care of.
too, which is the bigger time-consuming piece of the job. But we get complaints from residents that call in, residents fill out forms. We also get officials and businesses, so anyone that calls in, the person immediately goes out and checks out the problem. So that, it tends to work, we get most of them called in. But if someone sees something they don't think's being addressed, make sure you call because it could have been missed.
Okay.
Is this, have we got a full-time person every year, magistrate, or is it still in the rotation?
Not been in a while.
No, and I don't think anybody's been appointed, so I think they're still rotating.
So the magistrate over there is on a rotational basis each month, it's somebody new each month, and from what I understand, nobody wants to really make any decisions, they just kind of pass everything on, figure they're not gonna be there in a couple of weeks anyway, so we don't have a full-time magistrate over there.
Okay, just one more little thing, real quick. When you send out the, like the newsletters or whatever with the water bills, like every time one goes out, is there some way like that you can put like on a sheet of paper, like all the different ordinances that are here? Like maybe so people can start, at least maybe there's some people that would try to comply, you know?
I'm not sure how we list.
I mean, just like make a little quick, like grass no higher than 2 inches, whatever.
We have 800 and some ordinances.
But I mean, no, just not all at once, but like every time when the water bill comes out.
We try each time to do the newsletter to put in a particular issue.
Yeah,
We
right.
have residents that call in. I know the previous edition that just went out, we had a resident that called in, she actually stopped in, and she was upset about dog walking and people not doing dog walking correctly. She asked for that issue to be covered, so that's what we put in the newsletter.
Yeah.
This time we have in about garbage cans and lids because that was
Right,
an issue.
right.
So we try to pick the ordinance that at the moment is
Mhm,
getting the
mhm.
complaints.
But maybe could you just like do one sheet, just one sheet for like different things, you know, then finally maybe we'll catch up with those people.
We'll see what we can do.
All right,
All right.
see you later.
Excuse me, one quick question on what Kate said. Where are the sidewalks at on John Sign?
Like where Bojack's house is, where Carmen lives.
Yeah, I can't,
You know, Bojack, I think that's Weinstein. The alley where Kurt lives.
That's Yale.
Oh, that's the.
Oh, that's our
Yeah.
age or something.
Okay, I got you.
Based on Susie, I
no,
come up with a
You gotta
question.
come up, you gotta give her
Okay.
a name.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, we're getting to the football.
6 Grand Avenue. I can refer that your inspector inspect a piece of property? Did I understand that correctly, based on what Susie asked?
If you think there's a property that's in violation of an ordinance.
7004 Grand Avenue. The
call
grass
it.
is about 12 inches high. The alley in the back, I guess some of the residents didn't bag, like Jennifer mentioned that we should. And there are some glass. So I'm concerned because the mansionettes are a block away and the rats would come down my way, which is, that's my block. So if, like you guys said, I can make a referral,
Make a complaint.
I'd like
That's your-
the inspector to take a look.
All right, so just that information, we'll start from there. So
Thank you very much.
And you said 7,004 grand, right?
Correct, 7004 grand.
All right. We need a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
So,
All in
Still
favor?
okay.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.